Good morning, my group members. My name's Paul. We may or may not have communicated on the message boards throughout the course, but if we have or have not, well, either way, this is me. So um, I basically wanted to do this is an introduction video to my project. I decided to do my issue exploration kind of on video. You'll see why as you go through it. I guess I'm missing kind of the human aspect of education, and so I tried to do it, a little more interactive in that sense. So this is it. I just wanted to do this introduction because I want to give everyone a little bit of background information and context to why I chose this topic. It is, as you'll see, it's a bit of an obscure topic. It might not be relevant to everybody, but it's directly related to my professional life. So this is why I chose. I'll elaborate more. But this is the purpose of this video. So basically, I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. I'm from Montreal. I worked there for about 11 to 12 years. I was a teacher. I was an English language teacher. My last year of being there, went into school administration, but then I got an opportunity to come up north, and I currently work in the James Bay region of Quebec, in a Cree First Nations community called Wemindji. That's Wemindji. If you're interested to Google that. It's about 1,500 kilometers north of Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto. And it's an interesting place to work. It's definitely different than the city. I've only been here, this is my second year here, so I'm still very much learning, and it's obviously been through this COVID pandemic time, so it's been a lot of challenges and a lot of changes. So it's been interesting, but this is the basis of my topic, the reason why I'm choosing this topic. So that's where I'm at. That's the context of where I am at currently in my professional life. I'm the vice principal of the high school. In this community, we have two schools. We have a high school and an elementary school. There's a vice principal at the elementary school, and there's one principal that manages both buildings, as we're kind of like under one umbrella. Like, we're kind of considered one school. I work for the Cree School Board, so under the Cree School Board, we're kind of considered one school with two buildings. Presents its own challenges, but that's how it's set up here. So basically, yeah, that's what I wanted to just provide you the context first of where I'm coming from. And basically, the topic I'm choosing is kind of an exploration of the special needs services in the northern education context. The reason why I chose this really is because this directly affects my professional life. I have a task that's been assigned to me. Basically, I have to prepare a pedagogical plan to present to our school board, as now we're preparing for next year, planning and such. So this is directly related to what I have to do for my job. I don't have that much background up here in the north, and I'm basically trying to find any information to help guide my decisions as to how to move forward with this project that I have to accomplish. So it is challenging. Basically what we have to do is set goals, set targets, explain how we're going to approach and improve the special needs services for our special needs students here in both of our schools. So it's a little bit of a task. So like I said, it's kind of not relevant maybe to a lot of people, but for me, it is definitely relevant to my direct, tasks of my job. So this is why I'm trying to explore the background of what's out there. There are some, especially also because as you'll learn through these interviews I'm going to show you, we don't have a lot of professionals here. So a lot of these tasks that could potentially be done by a team of professionals in the South, we don't have any of that here. So these tasks end up falling on us as the managers and the administration of the school. Even though we're not necessarily trained in special needs education, for example, special needs education is one example. There's a lot of other things we have to do, that responsibilities we take on that we're not necessarily experts in, but it just due to the fact that we don't have a lot of people here, that we end up getting this placed on us. So I mean, it's a challenge of being here. It's the reality of being in the north. That's how it is. But anyways, that's the basis of why I chose to explore this topic. It really is an exploration because I'm not a specialist in special needs education, especially not in a northern rural context or a First Nations context. So I'm learning as much as everybody else in this. I'm trying to gain as much knowledge as I can to help guide me through my decisions. And that's basically why I chose this. So just like I said, if it's not relevant to you, maybe it could be one day if you ever find yourself in this situation. There's not many people that find themselves in this type of situation, but you never know, right? So this is really why I decided to explore this, and I hope that it's going to give me a starting point to be able to make well-informed, research-based decisions to help improve our situation, because I'll be very honest that the situation is not very good. Like I said, I have a background in the city, and I've worked with teams and professionals in a very professional way to approach special needs students. Here we have none of that, and there's not very good strategies, I'll be very honest. So I'm trying to inform myself on research that's been done and interests and approaches that have been done in this context, and I hope to learn a lot through that. So that's where I'm at in my situation here. So basically, I'll explain a little bit of what I did. I'm doing this intro video. I interviewed my colleague, and who is the principal of both schools, who has a lot of experience in this community and in the North, to get her perspectives on this. And I also interviewed our special needs education services department head, who's basically the manager of all of the special needs situations and support staff we have, and she's the manager of that department. So you'll gain her insights. I don't want to say too much. You'll see through the interviews. And then after that, I just created a little case study with a few questions. It is based on a student here. I changed the names, but it's based on someone we have in our school right now. And I asked a few questions at the end. I mean, and honestly speaking, I don't think there are any concrete answers to these questions. I'm really looking for any suggestions or insights or any opinions of what we should do with this student here, because we're as much, we're not specialists, and we don't know as much as anybody else how to approach it. So I mean, we're the ones that have to make the decisions. So I'm definitely looking for just any type of response to it. I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. I'm not, any information you can offer would be great. So that's the way the presentation is going to go. So that's pretty much it. There's not much else to say. I mean, the interviews are pretty self-explanatory, and like I said, it's really just exploring the topic, and I really hope to use this as a basis to maybe more of a long-term project. There's a lot of information. There's many years of background as I'm learning. Anything to do with First Nations issues and education goes, into a deep understanding of the historical context of First Nations in Canada, and the scope of the topic is very big. So I'm still trying to figure out how to frame this, how to approach this. I feel like this is a starting point for a long-term project, maybe over the course of this program. I'm not quite there yet and how I'm going to do that or think about that, but here's the starting point. So I hope you enjoy it. It's been a pleasure working with everyone, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks a lot.